KBLA 1580 to get the mess. We're your ancestors' favorite radio station. First black on talk radio, left side of the nation. Me and Dominique DePrima go way back. Tag Smiley making sure the station stays black. Discussing all the issues in our community. We're hosted black and brown and others find unity. So let's talk about it. Maybe we can improve it. Digital underground, always down with the movement. So we tune in. The first things first with the queen of Black Talk Radio, Dominique DePrima. Go sis. Go sis. First things first.
KBLA Talk 1580. Good morning. Good morning and God bless. I'm Dominique DePrima. This show is called First Things First. And my first thing today and tomorrow, the next day, is to praise God, to give thanks and ask for blessings from the Most High, to ask for the blessings of the ancestors and the elders. And let's go. Happy Monday. Wow, this year is just flying by. Happy Monday, happy Monday. So this is how we do things on a Mindful Monday. Hour 1, we look local. Hour 2, we look national, international, and beyond. Kicking off the hour with our mindfulness practice. Sahara Ali getting us in alignment with mind, body, and spirit, helping us set our intention for the week ahead. And in the third hour, we do a deep dive on a hot topic and a person of interest. Today, we'll be welcoming Barrington Salmon, and we're going to talk about we'll talk about the state of the world, but with a particular lens around what's happening in the Caribbean, Jamaica, Haiti.
Democrats that are running, which is good, right? We need competition, and we need to really scrutinize the candidates clearly that we are sending to Washington, D.C. on our behalf. Yeah, our work is not done, folks.
I think the probably biggest victory for me was not even Prop 50, it was turnout.
I think, yeah, for sure. I mean, historically, when it's hard to even say that because we've just never been in a situation like this before. But there are a lot of angry people. There are a lot of angry folks who want to do something about what they're seeing happen in this country. For us in California, Proposition 50 was something that we could actually do. I think what I was very surprised at was the number of folks who came out on election day to vote in a county that didn't open the normal amount of vote centers that would be open in a regularly scheduled election. So I saw lines, and I was like, oh, wow. Lines at a special election.
Yeah, that was a happy sight, right? Even it was just busy all around. It was busy at the drop boxes, busy in the election centers, and hopefully that's a habit, or if it's based on anger, it can be sustained as we watch what's going on right now. But so when you talk about what's next for Prop 50, really that's what you're talking about, is getting those lawmakers elected now that we've got the maps redrawn. And my understanding is a couple of those seats that were so-called safe, maybe less safe.
I think that I'm actually pulling up the maps to see what the maps look like this morning because I don't remember. But what I do know is that they were drawn, and the way that they were drawn, it's going to be a competition. It's not going to be a cakewalk for Democrats into those seats. Folks are going to have to show up and be paying attention in those areas. And as you know, when we're talking about congressional seats, I can only vote for my representative. You can only vote for your representative. So it's really going to be incumbent on the folks who live in these areas to be paying attention to who these candidates are and make the best choice.
Oh my gosh, this is our local hour, but we're gonna have to stray a little into the national, because you and I always talk about our party, and right now this second,
oh no,
I just feel
so
like
mad.
I'm ready to change to no party preference, Jasmine.
I am right there. I was actually saying to myself this morning as I was going to say was talking to myself, but I'll just say as I was thinking to myself this morning that is it time for you to research the Democratic Socialist Party? Is it time for you, or is it time for you to actually get up and run for Congress yourself? Like, what is the answer here? Because these folks are, taking a line from one of my favorite Cardi B songs. They're, reaching to hug you so they can figure out where to place the knife.
Yeah.
The betrayal here is so incredibly outrageous. I was sitting up this morning thinking, what movie or television scene adequately explains how you feel this morning about this betrayal? Now, a couple came to mind. I had time to post one. So I posted the scene from The Matrix where Cypher is selling out Morpheus and the team over, a fake steak and a better life in the Matrix. But the betrayal is so strong right now. And I hear people, and for folks who are just waking up and maybe you unplug over the weekend and you don't really pay attention to what's going on, they have gotten enough Democrats to support ending the shutdown.
And it's not that they're supporting ending the shutdown. They're supporting ending the shutdown without getting anything out of it, which means you put the American people through hell for no reason.
Right, exactly. And so we talked about this on several other shows, Dominique. We talked and talked and talked about what would happen if we had defectors, right? What what that would mean for us. We needed folks to have a spine, to stand together on this for the American people, for the people. Let's just say for the people here. And they could not do that. And so now the Republicans have gotten what they want. We are getting nothing from it. A lot of folks are theorizing online, and I tend to agree just from my experience working in politics, is that this didn't happen by accident. So the Democrats that defected, quite a few of them are either resigning, not up for re-election until 2030. Because remember, we're talking about senators, not Congress members. So they're not up every 2 years, right? And so these are folks who I see a lot of memes about, we're going to primary them. Oh, okay. Well, our memories as people in this country don't tend to last past a 24-hour news cycle. So when you have folks who aren't up until 2030, who aren't up until 2028, I don't know that the same level of anger is still going to be there because we tend to move on. My feeling, though, is one for all and all for one. If it's been all this time about the Democratic Party is one party and we're one people and this and that, then all of them can catch these hands, right? If why limit it to just those folks? Because again, if you know anything about politics, it is not likely that these moderate Democrats, and most of them are moderate Democrats, to be fair. I hate to just label those. There's very few that are not moderate Democrats.
I mean, there's some that are, at least one or two that are dinos, in my opinion, Democrats in name only. Like Fetterman, like John Fetterman,
yeah.
who's got his head so far up, you know what, that
right.
I can't say.
Who was one of the ones? Who was
right.
one of the ones that defected. So, which, don't let me go off on my whole conspiracy theory tangent, because that's a whole other thing that I'm more and more beginning to believe, that you have folks who really are Republicans at heart, who ran as Democrats and side with the Republicans every time. But my point is just that everyone can catch this anger, and it needs to be party-wide, and folks need to really be thinking about this. As I said before on your show, Dominique, there was no sob story that anybody could come back to me with on why they had to do it. And I just think that for Democrats in this country right now, we just need to figure out, is this the party that we want? And if it's not, we need to get up off our butts, run as delegates, change the party platform, change the focus of the party and the candidates that we put up. And as voters, we need to stop being told necessarily who to vote for and do some research on our own. And maybe the best candidate is not one that's been there for 20 years, not one that's been there for 10 years, maybe not even one that's been there for 2 years. It might be time to just send back a whole bunch of new representatives on our behalf in 2026, as many as we can.
Yep.
Because it is clear to me that they just have no spine and cannot stand up.
Jasmyne Cannick is here. You're invited in, 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. I'm Dominique DePrima for KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? black. If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code MAJOR25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code MAJOR25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code MAJOR25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, I'm Zoe Williams, a.k.a. the voice of reason, encouraging you to join me weekdays from 7 to 9 p.m. for the world's most intriguing relationship radio roundtable. Every night, I facilitate and encourage our loyal listeners to participate in the most engaging relationship discussions you'll hear anywhere. So make it a point to rendezvous with me, Zoe Williams, the voice of reason, Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Trust me, your relationships will never be the same. The VOR is on fire tonight.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
Hey, KBLA 1580 delegation, your health matters to us. We know that information is power, especially when it comes to prevention and treatment. That's why we're proud to introduce the brand new KBLA Health and Wellness Hub. This online space is built just for you, connecting our community to trusted health resources, culturally relevant care, and even access to diverse clinical trials and emerging therapies. Whether you're looking for information on common conditions, mental health support, or just want to stay on top of your wellness journey, we got you. And the best part, it's all on our website at KBLA1580.com. Accessible, empowering, community-focused. So just go to KBLA1580.com and click on the Health and Wellness Hub icon, because knowledge is power and your health is everything. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DePrima right now.
Right now, to be clear, the Republicans are in charge of all three branches of government right now. That means they own the shutdown. But the some spineless folks in the Senate, Democrats, or I call them spineless, call it whatever you will, they voted with Republicans to reopen government without getting anything in return after the longest shutdown in U.S. history. I'm grumpy about it, Jasmyne Cannick, because I had to fly back to LA last night, for example, and it was like an endless saga. Everything was canceled. Airport people camped out like we were, at the border somewhere. And these are self-made, self-imposed crises. Why are the planes grounded? Why are people not getting SNAP? All of these are self-created crises. And to me, as the Democratic Party, if you're going to ask people to suffer, a couple of the family members that I went to see furloughed, two checks in one family. They are working without pay. All of this suffering, if you, the Democratic Party, are going to ask the American people to do that, you can't come away with nothing.
I absolutely agree. And I was in that nastiness at LAX yesterday, too. It was horrible. It was horrible. But
I should be in Australia for as long as I was at the airport. I should be in New Zealand, not Bay to LA.
Yeah, I agree. And let me give you and everyone who's listening an even more interesting story. I woke up this morning, like everyone else in LA, to all of this fog, right?
Yep.
But I also had a number of text messages on my phone from my little brother. And my little brother, he's an ardent Trump supporter, and I have a hard time talking to him. I have a lot of Trump supporters in my family, and I have a hard time. So he is on my phone at 5-something in the morning begging me for money because Trump stopped food stamps. And I'm like, now the Tawanda and me wanted to text back, well, go I don't know what you're telling me for. My problem. You know, but the big sister in me is like, but the Tawanda in me is like, that ain't my problem. And I'm just so angry because I'm like, you sat up here, argued about how great this man was and how he was doing this and how he was getting rid of all the people and this and that. But you on my phone at 5 a.m. in the morning asking me for money to buy food.
Yeah. Well.
So, and I know there are other folks, other listeners who have people like that in their family, and it's hard for us because it's just like, And then, of course, I sent it, but of course I sent it with a message in the memo that said, because you're president, stop your food stamps.
Right. And yeah. Okay, we got a couple folks on the phone. Let's go to Paul calling us from LA. Good morning, Paul.
Good morning, ladies. How you doing today?
Working it out. Hi, Paul. How are you?
Man,
What's on your mind?
You know, I'm right there. I'm right there with you. A couple of things. Now we go back to the reconciliation bill that Schumer helped push through, talking about he was afraid that they needed the courts that the Trump administration and his people aren't even listening to at this point, and that led to the BBB bill that led to where we are today. And I always reiterate to me, and when things don't make sense, always follow the money. We're going into the holiday season. A lot of these businesses pay people nothing. So a lot of these businesses like the Walmarts and Targets and businesses like this, their employees, because their wages are so low, because they don't pay them livable wages, are on SNAP in these programs. So they got a call from Mr. Donors and lobbyists saying, open this thing back up because it's all about the bottom dollar. And what's so bad about it now is we reverted back to the time like there was Chocolate City with Hershey. For people that don't know what I'm referring to, pay attention to what Elon Musk is doing in Austin, Texas. He is he's buying real estate and having properties. They're going to have it where from your check, food comes out, your rent comes out. They control every dollar they pay you, circulates right back to them and then enriches them on top of the tax cuts they get. Follow the money, people. That's why those corporate Dems, they relented. And it was more that supported it because they got the call from their donors.
Yeah, well, go ahead, Jasmine. Yeah.
No, I was just going to say it reminded me of, and I was trying to pull it up while we were talking. Of course, I definitely follow the money. I mean, if you follow the money long enough, you will find that the same people who give to Republicans give to Democrats. And that's just a fact. I mean, they may not give as much, but they're getting money out of the same pot. So folks should always keep that in common.
And there are some on the extremes for both parties that only donate to one, you know.
They're on the extreme, but you will find that there are a lot of organizations and businesses that give to both. They may give the Republican candidate $1,000, and they may give the Democratic member $200, or vice versa. But they're getting money from the same people. Also, when you have a president who uses social media to encourage people to shop at one particular business during the shutdown, that is also problematic too. There was a post on Truth Social about Walmart and I guess some deal that they have for Walmart boxes or food or something that Trump is supporting. And that's also very suspect for me. But absolutely, we're going into the holidays. There's a lot of talk of, I wish as a people, and as a people, I mean Black people, we would sit this holiday season out, but I don't think many of us are strong enough to do that.
Yep, we're up against the clock right here, Jasmine, so hold that thought. We got a lot to talk about. As per usual, KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. On CNN's State of the Union, California Governor Gavin Newsom said Election Day was a win for Democrats.
And I think this moment, what happened on Tuesday, represents a new moment. Clarity, conviction, purpose, energy.
In California, voters passed Prop 50 to redraw congressional maps favoring Democrats, now facing a GOP lawsuit. D.C.'s U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro says Black Mayor Muriel Bowser is not under investigation for her 2023 trip to Dubai. Bauer denies wrongdoing, calling it a business trip. Reports of a probe were traced to a fired FBI agent, and no federal contact has been made. And the NFL honored late Cowboys player Marshawn Kneeland with a league-wide moment of silence Sunday. Kneeland died by suicide last week at age 24. His image appeared on Jumbotrons, and players knelt in tribute. Get BIN News now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Families have been loving LifeSource Whole House Water Systems for over 40 years. And now when you buy LifeSource, you can save up to $1,000 with the no sales tax special. Call 800-WATER-99 or visit lifesourcewater.com. And soon, warranty limitations apply.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Impressive day Sunday for both of LA's NFL teams. Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford threw 4 touchdown passes to spark a 42-26 win at San Francisco. It was the third straight game Stafford has had 4 touchdown passes and no interceptions. Stafford is the first Rams quarterback to do that in franchise history. The Rams are 7-2 and tied with Seattle for first place in the NFC West. The Chargers beat Pittsburgh 25-10 at SoFi. Wide receiver Keenan Allen caught 2 passes to become the Chargers' all-time leader in receptions with 956. He passed Hall of Fame tight end Antonio Gates. The Chargers defense intercepted Steelers quarterback Aaron Rodgers twice. The Chargers are 7-3, a game behind Denver in the AFC West. The Lakers are at Charlotte tonight. The Clippers are at home tonight against Atlanta. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
September is World Alzheimer's Month, a time to shine a light on a public health crisis that deeply impacts Black families. 1 in 5 Black adults ages 70 and older is living with Alzheimer's disease, or AD, and the risk is twice as high compared to white adults. But AD isn't just forgetting a name or losing track of time. Signs of early AD could be repeating questions, missing appointments, or struggling with bills and daily tasks. These things aren't a normal part of aging. Here's the good news. Treatments are available that may help if AD is diagnosed early. If you notice changes in memory or daily routines, whether in yourself or a loved one, don't wait. Early diagnosis and intervention are key to managing AD effectively. To learn more about AD and a potential treatment option, visit treatalsearly.com. That's treatalzearly.com to learn more about the signs and symptoms and a potential treatment option. This message is brought to you by AZI.
KBLA Talk 1580, standing with you in perilous times. If you've been impacted by the federal government shutdown or the discontinuation of SNAP benefits, you can find a food bank near you that's offering free groceries by going to lafoodbank.org or call 211. Additionally, LA County offers free meals at certain parks. There are meals and snacks for kids and seniors. Visit parks.lacounty.gov to find out which centers are offering which programs and to register in advance. And in addition to offering 2 free meals per day for all students, the LA Unified School District provides weekend meal kits for its students by request. The meal kits can be picked up on Fridays at grab-and-go locations. Please visit lausd.org/Cafe LA. That's lausd.org/CAFELA. We keep us safe. We keep us provided for. We keep us connected. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DePrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Thank you, Paul. I was thinking he might stay with us to the other side, but we got a lot of folks on the phone. Jasmine, you were in response to Paul calling out the corporate centrists who caved to the Republican Party and the Democratic Party this weekend. You were talking about how you wish we would boycott the holiday season, and I'm not sure how that fixes sort of spineless Democrats that cave in. The corporate wing of our party that takes all the energy and and the teeth out of these progressive wins like we just had on Tuesday, like we could have had with, if the Senate would have held out for what we asked them to hold out for. So now we see the doubling and tripling likely of our Affordable Care Act health policies. And what Democrats got was a promise from Republicans to hold a vote, which is LOLOL on the promise itself. But even if they do hold the vote, it's highly unlikely to pass. So I just don't see the upside here. And explain to me why you think the holdout in the holiday season is going to help that.
I don't think I ever said it would help, but I think it definitely sends a message. We know that the other side cares about money. They make money off of us. I think that going back to Paul's earlier comment, sort of about following the money and the timing of all of this, we are going into the holiday season, which is, generally a time when people go into debt. The super wealthy get even more wealthy, and they do it off of our backs and our money. And it would just be nice for once if we took the mindset that we were going to sit this one out and not do that. I mean,
okay, so let me play people's advocate for a second. Let me play people's advocate for a second here, Jasmine. How does that help all the Black-owned businesses? How does it help all the women-owned businesses? How does it help in this economy?
Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it does. So here's the thing about me, Dominique, which you already know. One, look, you can cut out if you got to and say, hey, I'm only going to shop at Black-owned businesses or women-owned businesses, whatever. If that's what you got to do, that's what you got to do. I am okay with short-term suffering to deal with a long-term problem. Okay? That has been part of the conversation all this time, which is why they were trying to pressure. Remember, Republicans, it's Democrats won't open the government. It's Democrats that are starving you. And it's like, some of us are out here saying, we're trying to look at the bigger picture here. We get that, folks aren't getting their SNAP benefits. Folks are trying to stand in the gap, organizations, individuals, by providing help throughout the country and their communities. But yes, we have this short-term issue that's going to become a permanent issue if you allow them to move forward. And that is what they depend on from us, to the micro versus the macro. They expect us to just be able to, and we usually don't disappoint, be able to just focus on what's happening right now and not looking at the bigger picture. And the bigger picture being your benefits are delayed right now. You let the Republicans ram through these bills and ram through this funding, you are going to find that your benefits are permanently deleted. You are going to find that your health care is permanently deleted. All because you, in the short term, couldn't look at, the bigger picture and figure out, okay, for this short amount of time that we may be inconvenienced, I need to keep my eyes on the prize. This is a perfect example of the meaning of that phrase. I need to keep my eyes on the prize. And the prize is not getting my benefits in November only to lose them permanently 6 months later.
Yeah, well, I also think I'm thinking about benefits. I'm thinking about all that stuff, but I'm also thinking about, the people with food that are not getting food stamps may also be the ones selling the item, trying to feed their family. And if we're boycotting everything, then they're getting squeezed on both sides is all I'm saying. I'm more in the black Xmas, Black Lives Matter, build black, buy black, bank black. I'm more in that vibe. I don't know if I'm all the way there with the no kings boycotts, but I'm open to learning more. I just feel like I'm more with buy black than don't buy, because we're going to need to survive some kind of way.
I would be okay with that if I knew that we were going to be able to actually do that. Again, I opened my comments with, but we're not going to do either one. We're not going to not buy, and we're not going to just buy black. I mean, that...
I will, yeah.
Look, it was shown we had Black influencers doing partnerships with Target in the middle of a Target,
right?
An alleged Target boycott by Black people. So clearly, we're not as one.
But that boycott was pretty effective, though. I mean, I understand that there were people crossing the lines. Yeah, for sure. Okay, let's go to Shayon calling us from Long Beach. Shayon, you're on with Jasmyne Cannick. Good morning.
Is it really a good morning?
It's always a good morning when you're breathing.
Let me tell you something, Mr. Freeman, and to your guest. I'm a registered independent, and I vote with the Democratic ticket. And I just, me and my family, we went down there. We stood in the line, and we voted for Prop 50. And I agree with what your guest just said. The so-called Democrats, I don't say we're not Democrats.
Shayon's, hopefully we can get him back in the queue with the phone issues that we're having. Oh, okay, we got it fixed. Shayon, go ahead.
I took it off.
Okay. You're back on the air.
What I'm saying, let me say this really quick. I wish I would show up and stand in the line to vote for another Democrat. I ain't doing it. They had an opportunity to break the Republicans, make them break their own filibuster rule, break the filibuster rule. They just threw everybody under the bus. Chuck Schumer, and I always knew Fetterman wasn't a Democrat.
He's
so I don't know what took Democrats so long to figure that out. But anyway, I'm just not doing it, and I'm not going to tell my family go stand in the line and vote for Democrats. It's just like no, we ain't even doing that no more because they ain't got no spine, no backbone, no nothing, and they should allow the shutdown to continue so the Republicans broke the filibuster, but they ain't do that because they on their own mission. It reminds me of 1877 when they threw us under the bus back in the 1800s, but this time 2025 they threw everybody under the bus. They ain't no earthly good, and ain't nothing they can tell me I want to hear. Period. And I ain't gonna even waste all your guest time.
I mean, but Shayon, what do you say to okay, this is where I'm conflicted. The Elizabeth Warrens, the Bernie Sanders, our progressives said no to this. They voted no to this, and these centrist corporate Democrats sell us out every time. And this is what I've been talking about. If the Democratic Party cannot lean into the progressive wing, and by lean, I don't mean just tepid endorsements. I mean actually lean in by empowering folks and elevating folks in those positions and backing them up when they are running or when they win the primaries, i.e. Zoran Mamdani in New York, then I don't see how I can continue to be part of it. I'm not as far as down the road as you. If Trump, I'll vote against Trump or, Chad Bianco for governor of California. I'll vote for a Dem in that case, even if I leave the party. But right now, as long as they allow these corporate Dems to continue to dominate, I don't know that I can stay in this party.
I tell you what. Let me just say this about black folks. We better come to a consensus real quick about if we want to remain inside of that Democratic party. Like really quick. That's all I'm gonna say is that we can't continue to be voting with these Democrats.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is, we have to take over our own party because what's the alternative? We're going to vote for, we either have to take over our party or do some real serious third party power building. And I don't rule that out, third and fourth and fifth party, but it doesn't seem like it's happening in a robust fashion at this time, does it?
Well, I tell you what, we better make a decision real quick.
Working Families Party, Green Party, the
Purple Party, Orange Party, Blue Party, Snoop Dogg Party. I don't know, but
how about the Progressive Party? Yeah, real talk. All right. Party over here. Jasmine, your thoughts?
Here are my thoughts really simply. Folks need to stop being just voters in the Democratic Party and get engaged in the Democratic Party. As I always say, just because you're a registered Democrat doesn't give you a say in the party at all. It really, truly doesn't. You want to see a different Democratic Party that puts up different candidates, that leans into its its progressiveness. You have to elect delegates and people who help shape the party's platform. You have a party full of moderates, which is why you get moderate candidates out of your party.
But to be clear, the California delegation voted against it.
At the local level, at the state level, at the DNC
Yeah, I mean, I
level.
understand what you're saying, but we're talking about a specific betrayal, and our California representatives held the line.
Here's the thing. So what, I'm supposed to give folks cookies?
No, I'm just saying we did our job as voters. We voted in people that wouldn't go along to get along like that. And we still get...
Maybe yes and maybe no, but still, again, according to the caller, we're talking about the party in general. And we have this same problem here in the county, and we have this same problem here in the state of California with our Democratic Party factions. We don't have enough delegates in the party who are progressive, who can get our party to do the things that it takes in 2025. We issue carefully worded statements. We do all of the same tap dancing that they do at the DNC. Again, if folks really want to see a different Democratic Party, one that's more reflective of the electorate today, then they need to consider being delegates. They need to consider joining these Democratic clubs and actually having a say in how their party runs and what their party's platform is and what their party actually stands for. It's not just about what you do on election day. You actually have to be a part of the party year round to get all of the hype and hoopla. People should have learned that with Kamala Harris when we had the the Democratic convention. Folks, that is where these decisions are made at the national level, but also here locally and at the state level. And again, there just aren't enough. I can tell you as a delegate, looking around that room when I have to go in there for those meetings, there aren't enough of us who are elected or who are even participating in this part of the democratic process. But most of us just show up. To vote.
Shayon called 800-920-1580. You can do the same, 800-920-1580. And I'm sure you heard about this, Jasmine, the Southern California Edison fail when it came to our Altadena Eaton Canyon Fire Town Hall. They had agreed to do it in writing and then reneged on the station, then went on other media and said they were offering their president and CEO, Pedro Pizarro, to come on with Tavis. Well, now Tavis is throwing down the gauntlet any day, any time, you name it, and we have not heard back from them after they brazenly brag that on other media. It's day 3. We're still waiting on that confirmation from Pedro Pizarro, and we're looking for Pedro. So if you're listening, Mr. Pizarro, or his army of comms people who seem to be hanging on our every word, you might want to ask him to put the confirmation where his mouth was and go ahead and pick a time to get on the mic with Tavis Smiley. Tavis has agreed to be a stand-in for the people of Altadena since you decided to be a no-show on a weak excuse that turned out to not even be true. So day 3, waiting on confirmation from Mr. Pizarro, looking for Pedro. And if you want to weigh in still, it's not too late. That's pedro.pizarro@sce.com, pedro.pizarro@sce.com, Pizarro, or give them a call, 626-302-2255, 626-302-2255, and then you've got to press number 1. More with Jasmyne Cannick when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
A safe place to go loud. A great place for progressive politics. KBLA Talk 1580.
Established in 2020 during a time of deep racial unrest across our state and country, the Black Freedom Fund was created to make sure that leaders and organizations working to support Black communities and build power have the resources they need to stay in the fight for the long haul. We believe that those closest to the issues impacting our communities know best how to solve them. That's why in just the last 5 years, we've granted more than $45 million to over 200 grassroots organizations across California. That is the largest collective investment in Black organizing in history, and we're just getting started. We are clear-eyed and committed, more now than ever, to our people, our power, and our possibility. Join us in creating a future where Black people harness their full power to shape their lives and realize a just world for all. Learn more at fundblackfreedom.org. That's fundblackfreedom.org. The Black Freedom Fund is proud to sponsor Conversation Live Altadena Rising with James Farr on KBLA Talk 1580.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Learning new things comes with age.
My mom, she started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you, when we fight, we win. The Youth Justice Coalition is challenging America's addiction to incarceration and discrimination. YJC works to dismantle policies leading to mass incarceration, law enforcement violence, and the school-to-prison pipeline. Their approach, transformative justice, community intervention, free LA high school, legal defense, and system monitoring. YJC promotes safety without relying on prisons. Their goal, prevent system contact and help people exit the system through direct action, advocacy, and education. Want to get involved or need help? Call 323-235-4243. That's 323-235-4243. Join YJC in creating change. When we fight, we win. KBLA Talk 1580, your voice for justice. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low, it just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
With curbside pickup and delivery available, you'll always find what you love, only at Total Wine and More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we do more than just talk.
You got a big mouth. Hello, Joe, you're up. Welcome.
We're unapologetically progressive, and we don't black down.
Jasmyne Cannick is my guest. So many confusing and contradictory things happening in the world today. We can barely get to all of them. But Carl Tucker is in the YouTube chat, KBLA 1580 on YouTube, Jasmyne Cannick, and he says, well, $2,000 sounds pretty good for a vote. He's talking about the supposed tariff stimmy check thingy that Trump is saying he's going to do, but no, there's no plan. He's just saying it. No one in Congress has said, oh, yeah, we're working on that. And it seems like, how are you giving people a $2,000 check when at the same time you're doubling and tripling their health care premiums, cutting their Medicaid and Medi-Cal, not giving people SNAP? If you add it all up, I think you come out under the $2,000.
Well, I think what's also important for people to realize is, one, timing is everything, but also that $2,000 may not come in the form of money in your pocket. If it ever came at all, which I doubt it would, it could be through your taxes and through other ways. We know how creative these folks are, but Trump and co also know if they throw certain things out, again, we get blinded. We get like, oh my God, I'm going to get $2,000.
Right, but if just to let the math. If you're paying $200 a month in your health care premium and it goes up to $400 a month, 200 times 12 months is $2,400. You already lost out on that deal. $2,000 if he even gives you the $2K. That was my point.
If he even gives you I get what you're saying. I just think we have to just know that he's a liar. He's not trying to give anybody $2,000. They're dangling that out there to appease his base and to confuse folks into thinking that they're going to get this money, probably hoping it would come by Christmas. There is no way that folks are getting $2,000 checks deposited in their account from the Trump administration. This is just stuff that he says. There's no reason for folks to believe that it is true. Yet we will have, because I see it on my timeline, folks talking about, oh, this is going to hit just in time. Just in time for what? I don't think so. It is not coming.
Just in time for what? Well, okay, so much to unpack here. The other thing Carl said is that, he's talking about LA, that the trash bills are going up considerably and the DWP bill goes up. He's blaming the mayor. Is that fair?
Not fair. Start with your neighbors. Start with yourself. How many folks listening pay attention to their council members' votes? Reach out and say, don't vote for that. Do not support that rate hike. Do folks do that? No, they just wait until the bill shows up, and then the news alerts them that it's going to take place because these votes have happened a long time ago, and now they're taking place, and then folks want to get upset. So no, do not blame Mayor Bass. Blame yourself for not being engaged at the local level and knowing your zip code.
I mean, in the Department of Water and Power, she is over the board, but she doesn't set the rates. But to your point, that would be a proposal that would be voted on by the city council. Molly Bell is saying we need to be celebrating Prop 50, and we're getting on her nerves, Jasmine, because it's so much doom and gloom, and she wants to celebrate the victory. We did have a huge turnout. We did pass Prop 50, and it looks like some of the retaliation from the Republican Party in some of these states is going to fail, which means that it may end up being even more worthwhile that we passed Prop 50, because they're not going to be as far ahead in the gerrymandering arms race as they could have been if they would have been able to sweep all the states, right?
So look, I don't have time to stop and celebrate. Again, I woke up this morning to the news that, we've had folks that defected and sold us out. And I love Miss Molly Bell. She wants to celebrate the wins of Prop 50. You go right on ahead and do that. The rest of us, some of us, are going to be focused on what they're planning for us while we're too busy celebrating.
Well, look, if you're planning to go anywhere in the next week or so, I suggest you take a train or get in a car, and I don't know, how fast, if clearly this is going to, pass through the House of Representatives. It only needs a simple majority. There's no filibuster in the House of Representatives. So by the senators selling us out, the government will reopen. Your health care premiums will go up. Probably, I would say 95% chance that'll happen. So, so what's next? I mean, what are you suggesting, Jasmine, at this point, other than quitting the party?
I didn't suggest quitting the party. I just said I was researching Democratic Socialists.
Oh, no, I think that was me.
Yeah, that was you. No, I suggest that folks, stop being wedded and vetted to their representatives and think about how do we send a message clearly to the party that we're not to be played with, we're not to be sold out. And like I said, maybe we need to send back different representatives in 2026. I think this needs to be a party-wide consequence. I think that folks need to understand that, they're always talking about unity. Well, they all can get it. That's what I'm saying. For me, they all can get it as far as I'm concerned. And, we just need to figure this out prior to 2026. And as you know, we have a Democratic Party with a messaging and a strategy problem. So the chances of that happening are very unlikely.
Especially since 2026 is 2 months away, a little less than that. Jasmyne Cannick, tell us how to track you and keep up with all of your activism and engagement.
Folks, my website's iamjasmyne.com, JASMYNE, and I am on all the platforms. So I don't use X. Even if you find me there, you won't see me using it. But Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, I can be found pretty easily.
Well, it's always fun talking with you, Jasmine. I hope we get to do it again soon.
Thanks. Have a great day.
You too. Mindful Monday is next. Let's get our heads on right. It's KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. On CNN's State of the Union, California Governor Gavin Newsom said Election Day was a win for Democrats.
And I think this moment, what happened on Tuesday, represents a new moment. Clarity, conviction, purpose, energy.
In California, voters passed Prop 50 to redraw congressional maps favoring